You're listening to Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
The program is State Affairs. I want to celebrate a Nigerian who used music to tell the story of pain and of hope. He gave us sound, and his sound came with lyrically conscious rhythm. I'm talking about sound Sultan. Let's go back to his days growing up in Lagos, in South Light Town. Tinuke, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Nice to speak with you, Mr. Obilo.
You grew up with Lanre. You know him as Lanre, but we know him as Sound Sultan. What was it like growing up with him?
Lanre, some of us call him Pasco. Some people call him Ephedrine because he was good with basketball. So in the basketball arena, he was called Ephedrine. He was like, once he gets there, he just does all the shots. So that was why he was nicknamed Ephedrine. A couple of us, my friends and I, in LASU, Lagos State University, Ojo campus, we call him Guitar Boy, especially my class, GRP, and a couple of friends of mine, Sherifa Bamijoko, Bola Jagunbuki, Tonye Romeo, and, so many other people that went to LASU that also happened to live within the axis of Satellite and Pesta. We call him Guitar Boy. He was good with the musical instruments, and I'm actually friends with his sisters. His elder sisters are my friends. We all happen to live in the same hood, Satellite Town, government reserved area of Lagos. We all grew up together. Satellite has always been a community where everybody lives together in peace. Parents, in those days, parents could chastise other people's children if they see them doing wrong. So we all lived as a family. So Lanre was someone that was free with everyone. No airs about him. He was very respectful. He was a tall guy, but he was, as tall as he was, he's from the Yoruba, Western, part of Nigeria. He will do that courtesy. He will bend down and greet anyone. Growing up with Lanre was beautiful. He was a fun, loving guy. Fasco, he will crack jokes that, honestly, you'll be rolling on the floor. He will just say them so silently. It's those of us that get the joke that will start giggling and laughing, and everybody will be like, what happened? Lanre was like that, and he was very, very generous. He was generous. Even then, everybody was trying to, find their feet and stuff then. But he will always accommodate one. His house was also a house that accommodated a lot of people. His big brother, Babaji, he's always been into theater art. So I think Lanre also, from that, he also picked it up. And their mom, as much as I can remember, she was also into some art. She used to do all this alaga. She was a principal. She was quite into entertainment. So I think it's like a family trait, So Babaji, his elder brother, and Lanre must have also picked it up from their mom.
Chichi is also part of this conversation. Chichi grew up in Satellite Town. Chichi is Tinuke's friend. Chichi, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you.
It was your time growing up in Satellite Town. What was Lanre like in the town?
If you're hearing things from people that have come to know you when you've become a celebrity, it's different from hearing it from people that saw you from age 7, 10, 15 and thereabout before you attained your celebrity status. So Lanre he was uncanny. There was just something about him, because his growth into fame was not overnight. It was gradual. And every time he attained a new accolade, you would expect that there would be a chip that would be added to his shoulder, and maybe he would develop some kind of air, maybe an additional air to him. But it was just not it. In fact, every time he attained an accolade, he became more humble. I know, not necessarily for a certain, but I know that there were some, Tinuke, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were some concerns about him going into music. Maybe he won't face his academics, which was not true because he eventually did, or that maybe he will go wild and go into women, drinks, and alcohol. But incidentally, music actually made Lanre more responsible. Like you have rightly said, he was lyrically conscious. He sang about the ills of the society from his very first song. I think Tinuke was Bodmas. Remind me, your niece.
Yes,
your niece was
yes,
on that
my
video.
My niece and nephew, when they were in Nigeria, they happened to feature on that program, on the musical video.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, even before that, way before that, Lanre and I and his sisters and a couple of friends, we used to practice in my house and in their house. We were all that free. I remember my father's car. You know how parents treasure their car? We'll be jumping on the car, and people will say, won't your father complain? My father would never complain. We'll be practicing on the car because there were some of the videos he did where he had to stand on the bus, and we'll be practicing. We'll go to his house, we'll practice. I hardly was not in any of his recordings. I was always present with his sisters. We would always go there. He would go to trade fair, go to different places, Lagos Island. We will always be at the recordings there, cracking jokes. I used to crack jokes, a lot of jokes too. I will always be there cracking jokes. We were always together. He was, was like a bee that used to just attract. That's a very good word to describe it. He would just attract. You attract all sorts, like honey, attracting like a honey pot, attracting everyone. He was like an engine room. I can't really remember seeing him get annoyed. He always had that lovely smile on his face, and he had that lovely gap tooth HG. He was down to earth. We went to university together. We both read geography and regional planning. We were in school together. We used to go home together. We were buddies. We won't even remember I was actually his sister's friend, his elder sister's friend. His mom used to refer to me as a bon Lanre. When anything happens, how things happen. His mom would say, when I come, we'll crack jokes about girlfriends, about, if he wants to have a girlfriend, about any issue. We were like that. I remember we bought our first shares together. We did so much together. Lanre, I'll just keep celebrating him. Lanre was fastball, when you just fastball, those kind of, and he will just give you one name like this, Lanre. We used to all sit down on the pavement. We'll all sit down on the pavement, we'll all be cracking jokes. There'll be no lights, then a lot of parents didn't
remember
really have
his song. There was a song he
we are
did.
civil servants. It was just, we were all free.
Sinu, can you remember the song? Can you remember the song he did about
Chichi.
lights? Can you remember the song he did about light, power? There was
I
a
know
song
that he did quite a lot of songs, but that the one that I really can sing at the top of my head is the Jagba Jantis. Everybody,
good.
Join Jagba Jantis, God Mathematics. You both say, na God must we go, you go. So Jagba Jantis. Carry by, be for brotherhood, love your neighbor as yourself.
All stand, greet.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. Sins of this people, many.
Oh, I remember Lanre when he first bought his first car. So many memories of Lanre. I just can't. As much as I keep, trying not to cry, the tears just keep rolling. Even today, NBA, they celebrated him. They gave him a standing ovation, 1 minute last silence. They did T-shirts for him.
He
in
liked
Time, they're doing a candle procession.
He
What did you say?
He liked basketball a lot. You remember he liked
loved
basketball.
He even had a basketball team.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Pardon?
He had a basketball team in Lagos.
Really? I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yes, he did. Tinuke.
That's what happens sometimes when you're far apart. Like my language says, 20 children will not play. We still were in touch, but not as in touch as we used to be when I was in Nigeria.
Let me tell you that Tinuke is speaking from London. Chichi, at what point did you see that there's a star in Lanre? Did you see the sound Sultan emerging from that humble beginning?
Yes, ease into stardom wasn't overnight. It was gradual and it was consistent. I mean,
when you say consistent, how do you mean?
Yeah, so back to back from Bodmar's days, he always had a message from way back. So he was that consistent.
Yes.
That way back, he had been consistent.
He was already doing stuff with his brother, Babadi. I remember something about the Uday Bleach or something. But I know Jagbajantis. Then there was, I can't remember the names of the songs anymore now, but I remember the songs, but I can't really remember the names. There was one we did Lagos Island.
Okay. And then there was something.
She said it right. It wasn't, it was a gradual thing. It was a gradual thing.
And Lanre was loyal. He was loyal. He was unbelievable. He was loyal to his family. He was his extended family, his siblings. He was loyal to his friends. He was loyal to the nuclear family. He was loyal to the community where he grew up. I mean, he had moved out. He had moved out. But he always came back to organize end of year celebration. So he will pay for everything, mount the stage.
He always had shows for
for the young people.
They always had jams,
I mean, he was one that brought Two-Face.
Bringing all the stars.
He was one that brought Two-Face. We didn't think Two-Face was going to come, but he brought Two-Face.
He brought Two-Face to Satellite Town.
Yes, there was one year. Yes,
I personally for a lot of stars that I've met. Personally, aside seeing them in the shows, I used to be a fun-loving person when I was in Nigeria, outgoing person. Most of the stars I see, I used
Funky
to see
Alaja. That's what we call her. Funky Alaja.
We used to sit down together. We could sit on the sofa together. We could sit on the floor together. Lanre's house was always like, how people say that. We used to eat. Everybody come in, eat. Two-Face, Idris, Abdul Karim, that crew then, I can't remember them. There were three. That crew. I used to see them in Lanre's house. Princess, I don't know Princess's name, but Princess, the same Princess. I've seen her in Lanre's house several times. She was very close to Lanre when they were younger in primary school.
She even featured in one of Lanre's songs, Princess.
Orobo,
yes. Princess was in that video.
I think Princess, didn't she grow up in Satellite Town or something? I think I heard something like that. Didn't Princess grow up in Satellite Town? I can't remember, but I heard something.
She did. That's what I'm saying, that she was very close to Lanre.
Yeah.
Now,
I said something about him being very loyal. So and you could see that even from the exemplary family life he led. A lot of time when you hear musicians, you're hearing about baby mamas, you're hearing about being entangled with one person or the other. That was never Lanre. I remember when
that was never Sound Sultan.
Never. I remember when he decided that it was Chichi. I remember when he said it was Chichi. He was, because even his wife.
The good thing about Lanre, like Chichi said, he was never into women. He was never
Yeah.
Sound Sultan Nigerian Ninja. Kenneth, you know what they do. This one, like all my brothers, we don't go outside Nigeria. We don't jack more for Nigeria. Always try to look back, cause no place like home, you know what I mean? So Obama tell me, see, I Joja be there and I true, man. Check this out. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Hey, I Joja be there. No matter where you go, make you not forget area, oh. Area, oh. Na Naija, tí o dé bá ti lè padà wálé o. Wálé o. How I wish, say, I fit reach you anywhere you dey. You dey far away. That's one no say make you dey born area, oh. Motherland, yo. Chinedu, somebody borrow you a go. Make you to travel, go Chicago. Remember, Nnamdi selling car. So you go America.
A lot of people didn't know, but he was very religious. I think that also shaped him a lot. He was from a religious family, but you can be from a religious family and deviate. But he himself stood firm, and that you could also see that when he eventually married. He married, I won't say she's like a school daughter to me, you know.
Yeah. In
the community, his wife, his beautiful wife, you know, she was a Christian. She's from a different background. But no barriers about that, you know. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but everything sorted itself out. And she eventually became a Muslim. So that's for you to know the impact, you know, he was able to impact so much in his wife. Even before they got married, she became a Muslim.
How come we did not see that in his music?
How what?
I don't agree. We actually
well,
did.
No, did Islam, he did not really showcase Islam in his music. Or did he?
He was not a religious singer. I don't think he was not a religious singer.
He didn't. He was liberal. Let me just use that word. He didn't. Because he believed music was passing the message across to all. You know, that was, and he was very good in drawing. He was very artistic. He's very creative. Very, very, he was a good artist. He used to draw a lot. He used to draw a lot. You know, I don't know if he did an exhibition, but he used to draw a lot. He used to draw a lot of things. Even when we're in class, geography and planning, he used to draw a lot for people. He would draw a lot for people. I think one time I told him, about drawing or something, you know, those kind of funny things. They come out go drawings, all those plannings and drawings he used to do. He used to draw a lot. He would draw so many things, abstract things. Sometimes you just see him going somewhere, he'll just draw something abstract. No airs about Lanre. Lanre, he will both buy Okada, you know, even as a star, he would just flag Okada down. He had one man. He was his barber from day one till, even when he left Satellite Town, he would still go. Gunman, he would be the one to cut his hair.
Gunman was his barber.
Gunman
on your clothes now. Gunman on your
know.
Clothes. His shop is on your clothes, actually.
Sound Sultan. How did that name come about?
I have no idea.
I think Sultan, yes, maybe that, maybe a little bit Islam, you know, or about being a Muslim, something like that. Then the sound, I can't really remember how it puts it together. But one thing I know if people have really noticed, you can hardly see him without his cap. He doesn't leave his hair open. Either he has a bowler hat, he has a face cap, he has something, you know, just to signify, you know, it's like a symbol, you know, humility symbol of being, you know, a revered Muslim. You know, most people, when you're into music, entertainment industry, the media, you could have, you know, all this fashion trends of dreads and stuff, and he never did. He never really did. Even if he did, I never think he exposed it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe spotting waves. You know, then you just use spotting waves to make your hair spotty and wavy. But he always had a face cap, always had something on his head. He was, you know, he was that kind of person. Lanre, Lanre. He went to his primary school was Stepping Stone. Primary school. Then he went to FGC Ogbomoso. He was a very strong member of Ansarudin, even up until he passed. You know, they were still saying of the things he still did while he was still on the sick bed, which people didn't even know. Some people were telling me he did something. He's been doing something on Twitter for like a Muslim program. He was doing that all while he was still on his sick bed. Nobody knew. It's called Ejijisari, like waking Muslims up for, you know, time to fast, time to start your fast, and he was doing love, giveaway. He was like that, selfless.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Bush Radio.
Bush Radio.
Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.